got a question for you guys. We got this trimmer here that just came in. You see your carburetor, got a busted primer, really dirty, spark plugs corroded all up. Ticket says primer bubble busted, get running. What would you do? Would you take the time to put a carb kit in there and put a new primer on it, clean it out, and hope that it runs? Or would you go ahead and put a new carburetor on it? In the customer's mind, most customers anyway, they're going to think, well, that thing was running fine when I used it last, but now it's been setting up and it's deteriorated the primer bubble and all that stuff. So if you put a new carburetor on it without asking them, they're going to be wondering, why did you do that instead of putting the primer bubble on it? You know what I mean? So what would y'all do? Let me know in the comments. I think what we'll do first is take it off and open it up and see what the gaskets look like inside, and if they're hard and brittle like the primer bubble is, we're going to not even waste our time with it. We're going to put a new carburetor on it. It's looking like, the further I get into it, that he's going to get a new carburetor. This thing has been sitting out in the weather and rain, and that's how all that dirt right there, you see how the dirt's in there? That comes from rain hitting the ground and splashing that dirt up in there. So that tells me it's been sitting out in the weather. But probably not even going to fight with this one. We're just going to put a new carb on it. But what's y'all's opinion on that? I'm curious, as a homeowner and a customer, because I've had people come in and be mad that I put a new carburetor on it. You know, but some of them don't care. Not every customer's a bad customer, but sometimes they think, well, because it was running last time they used it, which was probably a year ago, that it's supposed to still run if you put a primer on it. But it don't quite work that way in the small engine world. That's another funny quote I've heard several times from customers. They'll say, it runs fine, it's just been setting up for about 6 months. So it runs fine, but you're bringing it to the shop because it won't start. Yeah. Hard as a rock. Yeah. Not even gonna waste my time. Just getting a new carb, new fuel lines, new spark plug, fuel filter, fresh gas, and it'll be ready to go. Even the fuel filter itself is rotten. So there ain't no telling how long this one's been sitting in the weather with ethanol in it. Let's go get some parts. Here's another tip for you. If you've got a pull rope that feels like it needs to be greased, like it's not real smooth, I got the plug out, by the way. Instead of having to take the whole cover off, you can come right here, pop this little plate away. Just be gentle, you know, and don't break it. But you can pop that off, and then there's 2 holes right there that go right directly to your recoil spring. You can spray you some penetrating oil in there, just like so. And that'll smoothen it right up for you. And then you just pop your plate right back on. Good as new. And there's another thing you run into with these that's been sitting forever. We had to get the motor running, and now we found out that the shaft's not turning. So I think it's just froze up, so we're going to take it apart and unfree it. But right now we got it running good. The kill switch is not working, and that's due to leaving it out in the rain. The rain gets right in there and gets the contactors all corroded. So let's find out why the head's not turning and go from there. Looks like the head just got something behind it here. A piece of string or something's got it binded up. So we'll get this off, get it cleaned out. It should go right back to working. Just corroded all up. The way these are set up, they don't have a bearing. It's just a brass bushing there. So we'll get our guard out of the way, and then there's a set screw in the top. We'll remove it, and then this whole sleeve will come out the end, and then we can get it broke free. All right, here's our little bushing bearing gear head part. So it's almost froze up, and you take the clip off the end of it, and then this inner shaft will come out, and you can clean the crud out of it, put it back in with some grease, and it'll go back to working. It's got a flex shaft in it, and you can see all the rust in it just from leaving it out in the rain. It's done all this damage to it, but we can get away with just cleaning it. A little bit of labor, we ain't gonna have to replace no parts in it, so that's a good thing. Keep the cost down. Like I said, all you gotta do is remove that clip off the end and slide this shell off of it. You could put you some penetrating oil in that screw hole right there and go to spinning it, and it'll work its way free. But I want to actually take it off and put the wire wheel on the shaft and get it clean, and then go back in there with some grease. So we'll get that done. We'll be right back. Got us a new kill switch going in. Then we will be done with this one. There's you another one ready to rock and roll. Got a new carb, new fuel lines, flushed out the fuel tank, new spark plug, kill switch, greased the shaft, cleaned out the bushing at the end, greased it, ready to roll. Primer bubble was not all that she needed. Hope y'all enjoyed. I'll catch y'all on the next one. Y'all keep wrenching.